So the action will continue here at Supreme Championships, coming to you from the O2 in Bournemouth. And Kancheli and Marshall have promised what could be a potential, well, round of the night or fight of the night, as they say. I feel like looking at the stylistic matchup that we have here, Marshall's really going to have to work his way inside the longer guard of Kancheli, and you know, the fight at kicking distance is already getting interesting.
He's got to be careful of that elusive style from Kancheli as well. He throws some crazy kicks, turning back kicks as well. You can see that he's twitching the legs to use them for fakes. He holds his hands low, which is kind of like his style, but he's so confident in his striking game. Holds the hands low and he fires from the hips. Tremendous power. Nice leg kick there from Kancheli.
Yeah, great timing. Kancheli again going to that right roundhouse kick. Ryan Marshall firing back here. Kancheli just boxes him up to the wire. 1-2 lands. Marshall charging forward with the double unders. Beautiful. Kancheli looking to counter. Not a bad way to do it, right? To fight with the overhooks if your opponent has double unders.
There's potential here, but he's got to fight for the underhooks. You can see here the manipulation of the outside position again is key with those underhooks. Kancheli doing a good job of muscling his way in on the outside now with the separation. This beautiful work from Kancheli.
So you favor the pummel in that kind of situation?
Almost certainly. The underhooks are king in a grappling situation. You've got to get your arms or your head and your hips underneath your opponent's head and hips to get the takedown. And up against the cage especially, it's a fight for those underhooks.
So both fighters continue to do the dance here in the middle of the Supreme Championships cage. Nice left hook, stepping into the left hook. Kancheli doing a great job there of just finding his distance, finding his rhythm. The line of attack looks a little bit more confident so far for Irakli Kancheli.
But Kancheli as well with the setups. He's using fakes and feints. He lifts the legs up and then comes with the right hand. He twitches the elbows. You know, oh, beautiful turn and wheel kick there to the midsection. Marshall felt that one as he backs up to regain some sort of equilibrium now. You can see that hurt him because he's pushing back. He's using long distance shots like the leg kick, big heavy leg kick from Kancheli.
And I've wondered, at kicking distance, when you're at this kind of place in the fight where you have to use those longer range tools, does Kancheli start to gain an advantage? I think the answer so far is yes.
And again with his fakes and feints, even there with the switch kick, he's looking, he's consolidating the information he gets from these fakes and feints and then charging the kicks and or in the punches. Going to get a timeout here for adjustment of the glove. Looks like the thumb slipped out of Marshall.
Yeah, it definitely can happen from time to time with the larger gloves, of course. Amateur MMA rules, but hey, Marshall and Kancheli continue here. Marshall really talked a lot about in this fight, you know, going in, getting in the gym, putting the time in, interestingly working not only for his trainer, but also, well, his boss at Guerrilla Roofing. So there's no cheat days, they say, at the Guerrilla Fight Team. And Marshall trying to find his way in. He's working for those double unders, over-under here, 50-50 at the moment. Kancheli connecting with the knees.
Marshall nice with the separation. That's what he's going to fill, the dead space. He's got to punch his way in. And then when Kancheli's looking for the separation, he's got to make him pay for it. Oh, Superman punch from Kancheli as he presses forward towards the end of the round. What a great fight so far, Chris.
Yeah, fantastic. Early fight. Again, playing out most of the time in what was a kickboxing kind of matchup, but 3 rounds of potential here. What do you take from those first 3 minutes?
Out control. Like we said, Kancheli, he's got distance, he's got confidence, he's got the range, he's got the striking skills. Marshall's got to keep it dirty, get in, use the punches to get close, use that to get the clinch up against the cage. When he's hurt as well, he's got to be careful about not pressing around backwards. He's got to use lateral movement to alleviate the pressure from Kancheli.
So Andy Manzolo and the Predators team there in the corner of Irakli Kancheli, and of course Justin Moore giving some instructions to Ryan Marshall, who also did some training with another local favorite, Andy Turland. So he's certainly been putting in the work in for this fight. Wanted to stay aggressive and be composed in there, and I feel like 10-9 Kancheli right now.
Yeah, definitely. Kancheli's controlling the more kind of pinpoint strikes. Definite advantage on the feet for Kancheli.
So seconds out. Stuart Davies says, let's continue. 3 more minutes on the clock, potentially. Ryan Marshall going with the stepping in left kick. It's a good technique to the inside to set up the overhand right, but I feel like, again, you know, it's a tricky thing when you're fighting a guy that much taller and that much more effective with his own reach.
Marshall's got to take a page out of Kancheli's book. He's got to use fakes and feints. Setting up those low leg kicks is perfect, but what you're really looking for is to set up the higher kicks to the head or even the punches. Kancheli, see that? He's just more clean. Instantly, he's looking to stalk his opponent and cut the angle off. And Marshall again forced to eat those shots up against the cage as he circles out.
Wow, 2-3-2 there from Kancheli. Marshall circling to his left, backing off here. Kancheli just looking confident, uber confident. Up goes the roundhouse kick. Is he just beating him here in these kind of trades by just leading? Is that the key for Kancheli right now, being first?
He's responsive as well, like he's reading his opponent perfectly. I mean, look at this, the right hands, and you'll see in the dead space goes to the body, and he ate that left hook beautifully. An example of what he's been doing is pushing out a range and then skipping back into firing range against Marshall. And again, as we alluded to the fact that Kancheli is the longer fighter, the better striking game, and he's using that to his advantage here. He's using that length, mid to long range shots where Marshall's finding it hard to get in, but he comes in, he gets caught in a guillotine potentially here.
Wow, Kancheli there wrapping the neck, midway point of round 2. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Lots of pressure here from both guys. A real pace, I think. No energy conservation so far in this one, Dean.
Well, Kancheli's using his power as well to get these turns in these positions. You know, you could argue here in the clinch, he at least has a little bit more strength and leverage is the key here, much potentially to the long frame. I like the way he's pushing off on the face as well and clearing. There's that left hook again from Marshall. There's a nice jab from Marshall.
Nice jab again from Marshall, stepping into the left kick. Like that switch up from Ryan Marshall.
But he's still on the defense here with his back against the cage. That jab's money for Marshall. He's got to put more combinations on the end of those and then potentially finish with the leg kick to try and damage that leg to get the footwork away from Kancheli. That's another viable option, to damage the footwork, to make those muscles tired and damaged so he can't move around as fast. Big punches here from Kancheli as he moves in.
Kancheli looking to open up with combinations. I really feel like Kancheli's done well just to control the real estate in this cage too. He's just constantly forcing Marshall up against the edge of the mesh, and Marshall's struggling, Dean, I think, with the output and in some ways the uncertainty. You just don't know. Is Kancheli going to go to the body, the head? Is the kick going down or up? He's definitely, like you said, controlling, and not only controlling, but dictating the timing of these exchanges.
He's got more tools in the toolbox as well. He's using footwork, he's using range, he's using fakes and feigns. Whereas we've seen the left hook and the jab and the low leg kick come from Marshall. And some of the, again, shooting naked towards the end of that round. He's got to set that up with punches.
And that's it. Another 3 minutes, 6 into this one. Kancheli seemingly taking over in this fight. How does Ryan Marshall get back into this?
This is what is exciting about mixed martial arts. The last round now, Marshall has got to go for broke. Has he got that in the gas tank? Has he got that in the psychological makeup? He's got to look for that jab and the left hook, but he's got to put power punches on the end. He's got to push Kancheli backwards. He's got to put pressure on him. He can't afford to be on the back foot constantly.
And if you're Kancheli, is it just rinse and repeat?
Yeah, stick to the game plan. You've got to buy into your own bravado and understand what you're good at. You know, he doesn't want to press the action and walk onto those power shots close range. Keep the range, pick him apart, use the power shots when they're there.
So as we get some additional coaching here from both corners, Kancheli's sitting down. Is that ever a sign, or is that just I'm taking a break?
It could be a reference. Some guys like to stand, some guys like to sit, but you could argue definitely that Kancheli's been more active. He's used his muscles a lot more. He's used the fakes and feigns and the footwork as well, which could take a toll on the gas tank. And let's not forget those beautiful leg kicks that we saw from Marshall early on.
Definitely. All right, third and final round here in Bournemouth for Supreme Championships. Great to have you along for the ride. And once again, shout out to our sponsor in this one, Gorilla Roofing.
Marshall trying to close the distance. I like the body kick on the dead space. But he's got to put power shots. He's got to gain entries. He's pushing back and pouring out with the hands. He's got to set those shots up with strikes.
One thing I've been impressed, I think, from Kancheli is not punching himself out. He's kind of kept this constant kind of output and stayed in the headlights, if you will, of Ryan Marshall, which for a guy who you know is tough, who you know is aggressive, sometimes you just need to kind of keep that moderate level of pace on him just to never allow him into his own game. So fighting to me sometimes isn't just about doing what you want to do, it's taking away what your opponent thinks he's going to try.
And Kancheli's doing a perfect example of that. Even close range, he's firing close knees, he's using a lot of pressure with his head underneath his opponent, and then when he does gain that range, he strikes A beautiful long range, and he's checking the kicks as well when Marshall's slugging him in. So he's just really shutting down Marshall here.
Tons of pressure here. It's not much time on the clock. Approaching the midway point of this round, and Kancheli and Marshall continue to fight. Marshall firing back the knees. Look at the again frame is Kancheli. Kancheli pushing away. Another equipment check here, Dean.
Yeah, again with the 7 and the 8-ounce amateur gloves, they're quite good because they coil the hand forward, so it limits the pokes in the eyes. But at the same time, it can be ill-fitting for the little finger and the thumb, which we're seeing the thumb pop out from Marshall.
Marshall probing jab here. Perhaps an underutilized tool, but again, you know, the jab can be fired in a couple of different ways, and it's got to feel a little bit risky in there to step in on a jab hard when you got a guy with that kind of reach advantage, a very significant reach advantage.
You also notice as well, Marshall, even when he strikes, he leans back ever so slightly. If he wants to take his head off that line, he can slip. Obviously, it's precarious with the head kicks, but the duck's going to help him because it's going to set up the fake of the shot, which might bring the hands down and distract Kancheli. But Kancheli working to the back now here, Chris.
Yeah, nice moves. Marshall looked for a takedown opportunity, and Kancheli just blocking the arm and spinning to the back there. Nice awareness in the MMA game, not just to go for a back take, but to keep punching and not only tire Ryan out, but punish him for a shot that wasn't successful.
But Marshall's tough as hell, though. Look at him. He's coming forward. Nice double leg from Marshall. See if he can finish it. Oh, he tries to grasp a hold of the legs, but doesn't get it. Back take again from Kancheli. He's got to get the hooks in to gain optimum control.
Marshall just going for it here, but Kancheli with an opportunity. Can he get the submission here? Can Kancheli, with not much time, seconds on the clock in this fight?
He's got to fight the arm underneath the neck here. It's difficult with that right side up against the cage. He's kind of limiting his movement on that right side. Marshall fighting the takedown, fighting the back control, gritting towards the end. Some strikes from Kancheli.
Wow. One of the bigger grappling exchanges of this fight will see us to the end as Irakli Kancheli and Ryan Marshall go the distance here in Supreme Championships. A great fight from both guys. Ryan Marshall, a lot of output, trying to stay in this fight, but I feel like Kancheli just controlled most of this and should get the unanimous nod.
Perfect game plan from Kancheli. Struck at distance, and even when he was forced in the clinch, he fired those beautiful knees to the midsection of Marshall. Marshall unable to find the trigger and pull it. Kancheli just quicker with that fire in the cage.
Now I feel like Kancheli, he had something to prove here because Marshall actually beat one of his teammates coming into this one. So Ryan Marshall maybe felt some advantages, but Kancheli was a man on a mission, and he's delivered.
Yeah, he shut down Marshall beautifully. He even ate a few of those leg kicks early on in the round. Marshall, very, very tough guy to put away, and Kancheli couldn't get the finish, but he used the perfect game plan to edge his way here to the judges' scorecards.
And the announcement here from Kyle Greaves will give the verdict to that man, Irakli Kancheli, the 25-year-old fighting out of Southampton, representing the Predators. Began that journey with karate and taekwondo, and tonight will continue that saga. The name of the game, though, MMA. I feel like a lot of those skills do translate. It does translate to his game, doesn't it, Dean? That even the footwork and the awareness and the ability to control with that kind of points fighting style, it does work in the MMA game.
Yeah, we see it consistently with some of the fighters coming through up the ranks. Conor McGregor's a kind of an example of that. But the key is to have a coach to be able to merge that into the MMA game, you know, to understand that the grappling techniques can come, the knees can come as well, the clinch is there from the cage, to be able to move in and out of range is key.
There you go. Irakli Kancheli, your winner at Supreme Championships.